I'm very glad to be here today to have this course for teachers from Kazakhstan. I have had several courses here in Finland before at the University of Helsinki. This course should be about writing to read, playful computer writing.
Еще раз от имени самого нашего представителя, новатора этого подхода. От письма с 3 лет, нет, это вот так. Или казахская группа, это плюс английский, русская группа плюс английский.
You should translate lesson today.
English into Russian.
Russian is not the mother tongue for these people.
I think it is. Можно еще один вопрос для вас?
They start with Kazakhstansk in grade 1.
They learn to speak Russian since the birth. The very first class. And the English is the third.
When do they learn English?
Когда начинаете учить английский?
One grade.
English, Russian at school. So they learn Russian, Kazakh and English in the daycare. С 3 лет, нет, это вот так. Или казахская группа, это плюс английский, русская группа плюс английский. The Kazakh children may learn Russian as the second language, and the Russian may learn the English as the second language. There are no 3 languages in the daycare. Какого вы города, из каких городов?
Astana. Almata. Do you know that? They're from Almata.
Could you repeat? Можете еще раз повторить?
Астаны из столицы Казахстана.
Oil production.
Хочу узнать про вашу продукцию.
Тюбинск, Уральск, это западной части Казахстана, где ведется добыча нефти и газа.
Norway, they had the oil production there. Therefore we are so rich.
Yeah, Norway is popular.
Вся таблица Менделеева содержится в Казахстане.
It's so rich country.
Good morning, everybody. On behalf of Palmenia-centre for Continuing Education, I welcome you to this course for writing to read. I would like to introduce our teacher. He comes from Norway, and he is the creator of this method, writing to read. So please welcome Arne Trageton from Norway.
Thank you.
И наш уважаемый коллега Арне из Норвегии сегодня расскажет о новаторском подходе обучения детей чтению через письмо, которое он сам изобрел.
I'm very glad to be here today to have this course for teachers from Kazakhstan. And I have had several courses here in Finland before at the University of Helsinki, and now I'm very delighted and flattered to have this course for you here. And this course should be about writing to read, playful computer writing.
Добро пожаловать еще раз от имени самого нашего представителя, новатора этого подхода. От письма к чтению, сейчас называется.
Jag kan inte norska, men jag kan svenska. Ja, vi ska jobba på det sättet att vi har översatt alla slider, PowerPoint-slider till ryska. Och jag har printat ut engelska slider så att du kan följa med liksom. Och de är i samma ordning, samma slider du har i handen. Går det bra så?
Ja,
vi försöker.
Writing is easier than reading. That say Clay, Chomsky, Sölsby, Thiel, Hall, Hagtvedt, Norrensen, Lieber, Gustafsson, Melger. All of them say that writing is easier than reading.
На этом слайде проведен список.
And computer writing is of course easier than handwriting, says Wilhelm, Chambliss, Goldberg, Kulik and Trageton. There is 20,000 projects about computers in school, but only 15 about computer writing. EU's Key Competence 2006. Communication, to express yourself orally and written, and 4 digital competence, to produce, compose and publish your text. the grade 1 6-year-olds start with letter strings and learn all the alphabet, and so word books, and in the end of the year it becomes small stories. And grade 2, then they make their own textbooks from 6 to 20 pages about Pippi and wild animals in Africa, and the newspaper on 16 pages. And grade 3, the books becomes more advanced, 20 to 60 pages, and the newspapers tell us about the international catastrophe bombing in Afghanistan. My website is the Norwegian book, the Danish, the Swedish, the Finnish, and parent leaflets about writing to read. And you have videos, and here you have the classroom from peer, group and class. Only 2 computers, it could be 4. And here the most important keyboard, who has never changed the last 100 years.
Обращают внимание или не обращают внимания?
Ну, мы же тоже иногда делаем вот так.
Ну да, но мы конкретно, вот, я не информатик, я не знала, что конкретно вот до сюда только вот левой рукой надо.
Да. Вот shift, например, shift, и вот это мы всегда делаем. Вот это мы тоже делаем, иногда вот это тоже делаем.
History.
Например.
That is story.
History.
You speak English?
So.
Once upon a time it was a mum bird. The mum bird had 3 small children.
Получается, вот это слово war 4 раза получается, then встречается 6 раз, да? Then то вот встречается.
A word book where the letter U is important. You say it should be U in all the words.
Из книги с буквой У получается, слова какие-то, буквой У.
How many times?
It took 10 minutes, I think. If they are very keen to that, they can have 20 minutes or 30 minutes. This word book takes longer time because they have to draw to every word. That is a goal in the football.
Он выявляет повторяющиеся явления, какие-то закономерности.
64 pages letter strings. It took only 10 minutes.
Из этих вот набирал и буква Т находил.
Do you know this journal there? Yeah. If you want to do it more systematic.
But is there any difference? So the difference in the color, yeah, but is there, when I touch, for example, how...
Do you understand English?
Little. Grade 3, good.
That means 8-year-olds.
Very interesting because I'm a visual art teacher.
Visual art.
Visual art, yeah.
Because
really.
this is both art and language.
Yeah. Little dog.
Yeah.
Little.
The drawings are very important in that story about Pluto. She went to school and Pluto followed after, and she did not like that.
Yeah.
So she is such. But all the other children, they like to play with Pluto.
Happy, yeah.
And here she is writing about that. She is such. She will not draw now.
Yes.
In protest. No, they should go at home. Pluto, the dog, was so eager, so he was running before her.
Also of the book.
It's 7-year-olds. It's so easy to make a 2-language book. You could have it in Kazakhstan and in Russian. How do you spell this letter
It's like
in Russian?
Не надо ошибку, да? Попробуй.
Some websites don't accept the capital letters. How could they teach the kids?
No problem. Cap lock.
Project is very interesting.
Да. Вот у меня 1 класс. Дети как бы уже по алфавиту уже знают, можно сказать.
All of them know the alphabet. But what's the problem?
От руки, получается, на компьютере как бы знают буквы некоторые, но в таком, чтобы составить там предложение, сделать как бы мини-книжку, конечно, хотелось бы.
She can use this approach in the first grade. When the pupil knows the alphabet, she can write some, but are not familiar with the computer.
Yeah. Can you do it in your class?
Да,
Oh. That will be a start on the research project in Kazakhstan.
Надо начать этот проект. Согласно возрасту, техника чтения на минуту.
Do you have such a method, reading by a restricted time?
So it's not a special method here. It's only the strategy that writing is easier than reading, and computer writing is easier than handwriting.
Так. И также взаимопомощь, это мы увидели, когда девочка помогала, исправляла ошибку другой девочки, да?
They have noticed that thanks to that project, the ability of writing, imagination, and creativity develop better.
Да, развитие творческих воображений на природе, оно развивается лучше, чем, допустим, когда подобные задания даются в помещении. Вот продолжите сказ.
Wonderful method when the kids go outside, and it helps them to create the story, so they acquire more inspiration and creativity.
Содержание какого текста ребенок лучше запомнит, набранного на компьютере под диктовку, либо написанного от руки? Вот они это замеряли или нет?
What text will the kid remember better? So based on the content of the text, based on computer writing or on handwriting?
The difference is that you get a higher level than in handwriting class. So you come earlier to the more advanced stories, or the more advanced upbuilding of a fairy tale or a description of some factual prose. And therefore it becomes more funny for the children. This computer text is more interesting because they are longer. There's more variation on it and so on.
И я, и вообще все, наверное, здесь сидящие получили огромное удовольствие от ваших лекций. И вы знаете, лично у меня появились определенные идеи. Знаете, очень даже хорошие идеи появились, прослушав вашу лекцию.
Everybody was so pleased to be here to listen to your lectures, and they have new ideas inspired by your theory and practice part. Thank you one more time.
How many of you will now start in Kazakhstan?
Да. Элемент этого мы все. Хотя вот я же говорю, много интересного. Элементы мы все, наверное, будем применять. Компьютер на каждом уроке. Кстати, мы вот так же пишем эссе на компьютере, и пользуясь еще и программой Gmail, учитель видит абсолютно письменные работы каждого ученика.
Kazakhstan is a highly developed country nowadays, and in every classroom, every pupil uses laptop nowadays, and they also use network and Gmail.
И самое главное, что у нас в каждом классе в неделю один раз информатику мы изучаем. Предмет информатики есть. Специально отдельный предмет информатики есть.
С первого класса. Since the very first grade, they study information technology. This is a subject in the curriculum.
Обязательно используют.
Add that the kids also are familiar in writing essays, so they are quite small, but they know how to use a computer and to write there.
If you could send me some English text they have made, then I understand what they have made.
Вы можете написать ему на английском.
Ask how our professionals find it, how they like it. And
but how wide the core curriculum should be?
I think it's wider. It's getting bit wider. Even the present curriculum, core curriculum, is also, that's one of our problems. Is quite wide, but I think that what the professionals have said from the pre-basic education and basic education, they still they like it. They like the new ideas, what's coming there. Like we are talking about school culture. In pre-basic education, we cannot say school, but it's working culture or something like that. In Finnish, toimintakulttuuri. And there are some new ideas about future competencies, but they say also that there are too much to do in subjects. And that's what we are trying to cut.
From 1st to 9th grade, the curriculum is about 300 pages. And it's full of subjects.
That has been a problem since 1930. That's what's very important in pre-basic education or in basic education is somehow divided.
What I would like was interpretation like this. You have care, play and learning that becomes communication, and play and learning becomes art, culture, creativities, and play will give movement and health.
We are trying to make the subjects more shadow in
very
preschool.
Good, very good.
We don't really say the subject names even here. We have kind of 5 areas.
5
there.
areas,
Yeah. 1 to 5 years old.
We do have these 5 subjects also in the daycare. But now we are actually, at my daycare center, we are trying to change it. So we don't describe how we use it, but we use what we want to do with the children, and then we pick things from these subjects for our activities instead.
For the children, there are no limits or no steps or something like that. Palmenia should organize some in-service training for preschool teachers and basic education teachers all over the Finland, in different parts of Finland. I know that you have done that already, but I think there's still some who would like to know more about Traketon pedagogy.
Yes.
So we have Palmenia.
And also for kindergarten personnel.
Not talk about the Traketon pedagogy, but talk about playful computer writing, writing to read, who fit with the national curriculum in Finland. So there was no Traketon pedagogic there. It was the national curriculum that inspired of Traketon. And for preschool, I am talking about språklek på dator. Play with language on computer. You must build on play. So playful. That is very important.
Yes, that's very important.
Step of starting to use computers in schools or preschools is quite low. It's very practical solution of using computers in school or preschool. It means that you need only 2 computers in a classroom, and they should be used all the time. That this is not only writing to read. It's at the same time or later it's writing to write, because it's one of the most important skills we use.
Well, maybe make some notes sometimes and send some postcards in Christmas times. But all the other messages I write to other people. I write it with some kind of machine. So that's a reality for most of reality for all our kids too.
We had the questionnaire in Sweden now, asked 370 teachers doing artikelläsning. What should the balance be between computer writing and handwriting in preschool class to grade 3? for the people who had just started with playful computer writing, it was about 62% computer writing and 38% handwriting. But for the person who had worked 6 to 8 years, then it was 75% computer writing. In the society it is 95%.
Yeah.
I am Maria Nurmilaks, senior lecturer and philosophy doctor.
Yeah, at Helsinki University.
Helsinki University, Department of Teacher Education.
A specialist on preschool.
Yes, and language and
6-year-olds.
Yes, 6 years old. My article to you
about writing to read.
How a child can use Tracheton's method when he or she is learning to read. What is Tracheton method? How the child can use Tracheton method. What is the role of the computer in the reading?